We're going to deal with the subject of the passport because it has some very key words in a passport. You'll notice that the passport will use words like bearer. Someone is the bearer of it. There's signatures on it, which shows the consent for them to carry it and to endorse it, and the conditions, because you're endorsing the conditions that are coming with that passport. But one of the unique wordings on it that kind of goes back to the membership and belonging and who you are the property of, it states that in the passport that this is the property of whatever government is handling that passport. So if it was from Canada, it'll say this is the property of Canada. So you are technically not only in a situation of membership and ownership in that organization or that club, so to speak, but you're consenting that your picture or your image, the image that comes off, the two-dimensional image they've taken, is part of that property, and your signature, which is your consent, and the merger of both given name and last name are together.
And how does that relate towards God's will,
So
God's law?
we know the scripture, if we're dealing with a couple key scriptures from Paul's writing, 2 Corinthians 6:14, 2 Corinthians 6:17, which maybe we'd be best to go to, because I don't like misquoting. So if you bear with me for a moment, we'll just go to that. Well, first we'll go to verse 14. It says, "Be ye not unequally yoked." That another word for yoked is joined or merged or incorporated together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial, or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them, and I will walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. And will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. Now we'll notice there terms like be separate. In law, separate also means private. So you would not be part of the public. When you join a legal citizenship, which is contract law, you have agreed to all the terms and the conditions that come with it, all the laws, all the statutes, everything they've passed, all the requirements. And so the question has come to mind with some arrests that have occurred or charges that have occurred on some religious, legal, secular Christian movements down in, I believe, in Florida, large gathering where they decided to congregate despite that the public status that they carry with their religious registration would have to comply with the legal membership rules. They went ahead and did it anyways and congregated and violated the social distancing laws that were being enforced. And so people would say, oh, that's terrible. But in reality, because they are a member of that legal group, they did violate the rules. And therefore, they are punishable under those laws because they are part of the legal system. So we have to remember that in legal, you have conditional rights. They're not absolute rights. There are no absolute rights in legal. There is only conditional. So they consider religious gathering is nothing more than a lifestyle choice. It is not a necessity. So therefore, they enforce what they believe to be necessity and what is non-necessity. So they consider that non-necessity not requiring them to gather. So I think people have to really start to examine where they are, what they belong to, what the rules are, and get their minds clear, because there's a lot of confusion in these subject matters right now, and a lot of dissent amongst people wanting to actually revolt while they're a member. And I myself would never give anybody a go ahead on that. So you got to be very careful where you are and what you're doing right now.